Hey everyone, this is your badass rider Dinraj, and I'm with my friend Vinay today. He's in the front on that white aviator that you can see. And for the change, I'm on a scooter today, the TVS Vigo, and we have come 8.3 kilometers away from my home so far. I just stopped to fuel up. As you can see, if you can see the speedo, the tank is almost full. And today, for a change, I thought let's take the scooter for a ride. So we are heading from Mangalore to Moodbidri. There's this place called Son's Farm, everyone would know about. Nice place. Apparently, it's my classmate's grandpa's place. Grandpa, uncle, I'm not. Yeah, sorry, my classmate's uncle, grandpa's place. So we just thought of heading for a ride, and I wanted to buy some plants from there. So we'll be doing that, and possibly we'll also meet up with another friend. Either he'll show up there or we'll go to his place. He stays within Moodbidri. And we may go to his estate as well and chill out for a while if we go to his place. So that's the plan for today. Simple stuff. We are closing towards Bondel almost right now, and we're thinking of keeping it at economy pace as much as possible today. So it's not going to be a fast ride. We're not going to strain the engine of the scooter too much. Not because the scooter can't take a beating. All the scooters are well built. They can be ridden far. They can take a beating. It's just that we want to chill out. So for the record, both our scooters are 110cc each. So these are not like touring scooters or anything. These are basically used in the city for city commutes. But you know, that's the stereotype. People believe that you need a big engine, a capable motorcycle in double quotes to go on a long ride. But that's not really true. A small engine works. A gearless vehicle works. Heck, even a cycle works. So it all depends on you, what you can push, what you can manage. So, and also I know that there are a couple of people who have done way long rides on scooters. So that's all agreed. But you know, the mentality is still there. I still remember, like maybe a few months back, I went to the fuel pump with the same scooter to fill air. And the guy there, he asks me, you have a big helmet, all flashy helmet, and the way he asked me was something like, you've come with a big helmet, but then the vehicle is like, and he giggled. That's weird, you know. I mean, I ended up telling, I just didn't respond. I was like, yeah, I mean, that's how it is. That's what I told him. At the current moment, I do own a CBR 250R, a Duke 250, and a Classic 350 at home. But all of that doesn't matter because be it any of those, be it a scooter, whatever it is, you can go, like I said, you can go on long rides on anything. So this is for any stereotypical thoughts any person may have. If you feel like going for a ride, no matter what vehicle you have at home, if you have the right permission, right documents, and the right safety in mind, go for it. Don't say to yourself, or don't think that, oh, I need a bigger vehicle, a bigger displacement. Even if you have a Splendor, a Passion, or a Luna, or whatever it is, any old vehicle as well, if it's in a good condition, you know that it's not going to break down, then go for it. Even if you think it's gonna break down, don't be hard on yourself by saying that, oh, I need to make up some money, get a big vehicle, this thing can't be fixed. All the broken down vehicles can be fixed, unless it's in the worst condition. So it doesn't matter what you ride, what's important is that you ride. It's an old saying, so head out on a ride. As of now, we're just going through the back roads trying to connect towards Amanjur. So from here, this is more of an outlandish route. We're not taking the road from Nantur. This is the one that takes us through the dump yard of Mangalore. But then that's a short stretch. For for the rest of the road, it's mountainy like this, a bit of climbs, which is a nice thing. You know, even back in college, this was my go-to route when I used to get late for classes, because though it's a bit longer than the regular route, I used to cover up in a shorter time, maybe because of the lack of traffic or whatever it is. The road hasn't always been this nice, so I don't really say it's because of the road. But then yeah, as of now, let me just check, I think it's around 4:18 p.m. and we are done with only 12 kilometers, which is not at all much. Yeah, we'll be continuing ahead now and catching up in a while. All of these curves can actually be enjoyed on a scooter when you are in the economy mode as well. I'm still at 40s. I still feels fun. Just got out of the place, and to be very honest, it's been a long time since I came through that route and couldn't even really make out where the dump yard was. Before it was a stinky, dirty stretch. Now it didn't feel that way, nor did it look that way. That's strange, that's nicely strange. And that's my college, where I graduated. Yeah. And this is a new bridge project that has happened recently. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of wind, so I'm not sure how clear my voice is. But then, from what I remember, this two-way bridge earlier was a very narrow piece, so narrow that, you know, if a bus comes from one side, the other side, the rest of the traffic has to stop so that the bus passes by, and vice versa. And now they've made it a two-way bridge, which is a good thing. But I kind of miss the old school stuff, you know, though it was inconvenient. So it makes sense, it's not a bad move, it's a good move. But yeah, the road was really narrow. You know, some fine day, I think, when I'm bored and if I have the permission, I will do some off-road with the scooter. Not deliberately, but I want to go to places. Back roads, narrow roads. So this is a point of patience, especially when you have a small vehicle to go through. For example, that bus behind us pretty much screwed up. It's desperate to overtake that slow-moving lorry, and he had to stop in between because of oncoming traffic. So don't be in a hurry. I mean, what's the point? We're not going by the lap timer anyways. Another thing that I wanted to actually check and see, though I know that fatigue won't come soon in the scooters, or maybe I'm wrong, I'm not sure. So that's one thing I really wanted to check. I wanted to see at what point do you really start feeling fatigued if you're taking a scooter out on a long ride. It's 20.6 kilometers of riding right now, and there's no There's no sign of fatigue as such. The one thing about comfortable seats, I mean, obviously scooters have wider, bigger seats compared to bikes. But even if you're not comparing between a scooter and a bike, even if you're comparing between bikes itself, the more comfortable and too over-cushioned your seats are, after a while you either start sinking in or you kind of get a weird kind of numbness. So in my case right now, I'm not sinking in obviously, but yeah, I think the scooter overheated. Scooter overheated. Okay, so 20 kilometers, 21 kilometers of riding, me being 95 kilos of weight, I think I choked the 110cc engine quite heavily. I think I stalled the engine, dude. Yeah, it's starting. It's starting, but it won't go. See, like, see this. It start. Now it's just here. But if I wait,
do you have any regulator for the fuel? Nothing like that. No, like nothing like reserve to full.
No. It's just we don't get that in scooters, no. But I think it just overheated. I knew this will happen. No, you don't feel it much there, right?
Just open the fuel tank once and let the air come out.
Yeah. I'll try it again. I need to reduce. Because I've been calculating the distance, okay. 21 is too early. It needs to cool down.
Then I think we can open that up.
Which one?
Oh, that will hit your seat then.
Yeah.
I think then we'll take a break too. We'll take a break for 2 minutes.
Yeah, we'll just take a break. Nothing to open, to be honest.
So open the
Seat, yes. What I can do is we can open this.
Yeah, we'll open that.
I don't have the tool.
Not sure if I have.
It is there at home. I should have carried. Oh fuck. Okay.
No, I don't have.
You bought cartridges.
Cartridges, yeah.
That's okay. We'll just give it 2 minutes. Yeah. I think it's a bit far. Tokyo Drift on a straight road. So after that point where the scooter stopped, we actually left the scooter at somewhere near Ganjimata and we continued on Vinay's scooter. That's Vinay.
Hello.
And we went to Sohn's farm, bought the plants. It's in a yellow plastic here. He got some juice as well. And we went to Gladson's house. on that scooter. I was a pillion. While coming back, we tried to switch this on. It does switch on, but the thing is, if I exceed around 10 kilometers per hour, it dies off. So with that, we rode around 15, almost 20 kilometers in that angle, and there were a lot of inclines and declines. So the trick was to be as gentle on the throttle as possible. It's more than handling a baby, it's like handling an embryo. It was that kind, because the inclines are very heavy. Anyone who knows the route from Ganjimat to Mangalore would know Vamanjur and near Kodupu and all. It's heavy, right? We managed that, so we are close to home. Vinay is going to Surathkal. I'm going to drag this somehow till my home, and that ends the vlog. Overall, you can do a long ride on a scooter. In this case, it was exceptional. I think the carb needs to be checked, because Vinay's scooter did it with the pillion, and it was all smooth. Right, though it's a way older scooter, this has been sitting inside for a long time, so maybe some issue. But then good experience overall, right?
Yeah.
So we'll catch up next time then. Cool.
Yeah.
Let me know once you reach home.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye-bye. So if you notice, I'm taking some leverage of the decline over here, and that's why I'm gaining speed. The thing is, with the choke, let me show you. With the choke, also, if you say it's gonna help, I'm pulling the choke out. It just dies off. Just like that. So the choke also hasn't been of help, and we tried all other possible things. So it's all about handling the throttle now as easy as possible. Yeah, that was not very smooth, but I'm on a decline, so I'm leveraging that. But man, one hell of an experience. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be mad at home, or maybe not, because I reached back home safe, which is very important. I mean, I've not yet reached home, but I'm not very far. But this was a good experience. So the moment the scooter broke down, it gave off, I actually thought I'll end the vlog over there, but then now that we made it back, Vinay actually suggested that I could have made a vlog. It didn't flashes because we were in a different kind of mind rush and stress level high. But then once you make it, you make it. Also, another thing is, rather than having any negative vibes that the vehicle broke down, what to do, we're doomed and all that stuff, it's better to make it through, make it out of it, and have a laugh about it. So that's what we just did. For the record, it's 10:19 p.m. as the speedo indicates. Thankfully the battery is in shape. It's a new battery, so it's definitely not the battery issue. We for once suspected that maybe the fuel we put was of bad quality, but I kinda don't think that. I feel there might be a bit of clogging in the carburetor, or possibly the air filter. Not very sure, and you know that the air filter is not easily accessible in scooters, and forget that, even if it is easily accessible, another thing is that, another learning from today is that carry your tools with you, because I didn't have my tools of the scooter. I didn't have any tools. So where we actually had the so-called breakdown of the scooter, there was a small shop of vehicle batteries. So he had a star-shaped screwdriver, and we tried to open the small section under the seat to access the engine head and the carb section. We saw that things seemed to be fine, but if we had to access the air filter section, we needed either a spanner or some more tools, which we didn't have, nor did they. Or maybe they had, I'm not sure. We didn't want to ask much because we wanted to continue, make the journey happen. So, and we also were suspecting that maybe it's an engine overheat. At the same time, we even checked the engine oil level, it was fine. So all that was checked. Finally, even now, see, somehow it's pulling up till 30 as well. It all depends on leveraging the elevation, because if you can see ahead, there's a small climb coming up, and at this point you will see the speed reducing, obviously. Like you can see, 2 bars down on speed. This is where I give a little on and a little off of throttle and modulate it. So minimalistic that you won't see my wrist move, but I am actually doing that. So another thing, in such conditions, or also if you are new to two-wheelers, do learn your more than learn, do practice your throttle inputs quite religiously and quite well, because in cases like these it will help you. If you're the kind of person who goes a little too right hand friendly or throttle happy, and if you're not well at modulating, a simple way out can end up being like a no way out. For example, if you were there and if we couldn't manage the throttle well, we would be stuck there, at least the scooter would be stuck there, and it wouldn't have been a good day to end. So yeah, possibly that's also the reason why when we learn to ride or drive or whatever it is, whoever's teaching us tells us to take it slowly. Even if I were to teach someone, I would say take it slow, because I had this belief and I observed it from my own learning. When you are going fast or when you're hard on throttle, be it your accelerator pedal, be your accelerator handle, car or bike, whatever it is, or scooter, when you're hard on it and when you're at a fast pace, you are getting enough inertia, you're getting enough, the center of gravity is acting well on you. If you notice, especially on a two-wheeler, it's when you slow down that, even your body starts jittering and panicking on which leg to put down, what is it like, where to shift the body weight, more than which leg, where to shift the body weight. That's like a sudden, your shoulders hesitate, especially when you're going to stop. Now that is something, that judgment is something that high speed won't teach you. See, this is another steep climb. I am modulating the throttle. We are down to 20 again, and we are slowly trying to make it. If I do increase the throttle, which I don't want to do, the scooter will die off. So yeah. So practice, and I would suggest, even if you are intermediate on riding, practice on lower speeds. Not because you'll be an expert in holding phone and riding like this, but because you will master the art. This is how the day went. It was actually fun, and in the last couple of hours, to be very honest, when I was a pillion with Vinay, we also had a good chat, and also getting back home, which we had to do. When it becomes a necessity, you have to do it. So that also brought in a lot of learning. So I am that badass rider. Until next time, have fun, ride safe. I'm almost home. See ya. So 10:26 p.m. 38.1 kilometers of riding. That's because of the give up or partial breakdown that happened. Ciao.